Okay, welcome to another installment of Glen Yaps, which is this is going to be a viewer's mail, or viewer mail, I should say. I had more people sending messages. I had a lot from Facebook that lasted a while, which is very cool. I had a lot of friends on Facebook, a lot of musician friends. So we had one ask about the, I was back on the local media thing there a little while ago, and they noticed that out of the blue, the Sioux Today news forum basically did an article on a metal battle of the bands and a couple of other things recently of shows at the Canadian, and I was happy to see that. I'm kind of not sure if they're reading my Freaks Music Planet forum or not, but I just thought it was odd all of a sudden that popped up there. So I guess that's a step in the right direction. But it's ironic when I read the article on it, and they did pictures and stuff like that, which is very cool. I'll give them a thumbs up. But I noticed right after, I think it was the day after, the following day, second day or something like that, they started posting about those same four bands that they always post right back into an article on that. You just can't get away from that. So, but we have a step in the right direction. The metal guy's got a little plug there, and that's awesome. I was also asked, this is related to it, why I don't talk more about metal on my forum. I'll be honest, totally honest. There's no need to, because at the bottom of the page on my forum, I have a link to Rob Figure's metal forum, and he's got it covered. You know, it's like we don't need two of us doing the same thing. He does a great job at it. You just go down my forum, there's the link. You can read whatever I have to yap about, and then you can go right down to the bottom, connect to the metal news over there. And any metal guy in town knows Rob's got it covered. So that is the only reason why I don't cover much of the metal shows. There's just it's just basically the simple truth. Another message on there was why I don't go to the metal shows. For one thing, I can't handle the volume anymore, and that goes for a lot of bands. If the bands are really loud, it doesn't matter if it's metal or not. I just can't handle the volume anymore. I suffer from vertigo, and heavy, loud volumes seem to help trigger that. And just call it a cautious thing for me. And yes, I can wear earplugs, but it's still something that I am very cautious about in my later years. I've lost a lot of hearing, and you know, I have been to a few of the shows, not so much the ones at Oddfellows, although I used to go and see my nephew's band play, and a few others. But I just found, for me, being an old guy, that my hearing just couldn't handle it. Rob posts a lot of videos, which a lot of bands are really good. Some of them aren't my taste, but that doesn't mean they're not good. So don't anybody get offended. And I made a comment on one of Rob's posts on Facebook about the bands not having a lot of lighting. I'm puzzled by that, but it doesn't cost much to set up a few extra light bulbs there to see the band. There's nothing worse than watching a video where all I see is a bass drum and I can't see the musicians playing. That's the whole point of a video, is to show your band. You know, we can listen to your audio, But if you're just going to have one little light and all I see is the bass drum skin and I don't see any bands, I don't see the purpose. And that goes for any band, really. I know when I was growing up, we wanted lights, tons around us. Light show, the rock show, we'll say. So, for all you guys out there with bands, get some lighting. We want to see you. You got like all this great gear, you got a great band. We want to see you. You know, so we can spread the word. Let's see, what other questions was I asked? I was asked about my drum setup on with the floor toms on the left and hi-hats on both sides of the kit. So basically floor toms on both sides of the kit and hi-hats. And basically it's because of a book called New Breed and New Breed 2. It's to help build independence in your playing, and it's basically to train both hands to play the same amount of notes. It's the ability to switch back and forth effortlessly, and it's a very, very hard book to do. I've got through the first one. I've got through it, but I'm basically always going back to it. It's one of those books that you will play the rest of your life. It's just exercises to get your independence on the drum set, and it's something you have to practice with all the time. So I'm into New Breed 2, very difficult book. But anyways, that's why the drum sets look kind of odd with floor toms on both sides. No other reason. It's not a show thing. It's actually a function for that. I'm trying to think here what else that was some of the other questions there. Somebody asked me if I like, or not if I like, asking my views on music today. And that's a loaded question, because I'm very picky and I'm very opinionated when it comes to the music. Well, it's obvious to me that rock music is buried. It's very rare to see a lot of bands in the Billboard Top 100 that are rock anymore. So, as weird as this sounds, it's rock music is underground for the most part. All this dance, rap, techno, it's in the forefront. It pains me to say that, but unfortunately that's what happened. When did all that happen? I'm going to be honest. When the grunge thing took over, all those bands that had careers in the Billboard 100 disappeared. They were almost gone overnight. Now the grunge bands did good, you know, Alice in Chains and Nirvana, but it definitely cut up the market and it alienated a bunch of the audience. That's just a guess. I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows exactly what happened, but that's my best guess. Will it ever come back? I don't know. I kind of hope that at some point some people and expand the horizons and moving back into rock and progressive rock, and I hope some big record execs come to their senses and don't let this music die. But I'll be honest, the jazz music used to be that used to be the music, back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and then it started to fade into when rock and roll, Elvis Presley, and all that came, and jazz never got back into the forefront ever again. They're still there, and they still produce great music, and jazz still has great musicians, and it still has an audience, but it's never going to sell millions of copies like it did back in the 40s and 50s. Do I think rock music is in that same boat? I would have to think so. It's there. There's a bigger market for rock music right now, even though it's not mainstream popular like it was, but there's like more people wanting rock music, so I don't know. That one we'll say is a crapshoot. I don't know the answer totally. I can only guess. I find music stagnant. Most music stagnant that's on the radio. It's so formulated. It makes me want to throw up. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm sick of the rock power chord thing that's kind of sneaking into so much music. Well, it's been like that for a few years. And basic, no lead music, no harmonies. You know, it's worn out. It's time to move on. Yeah, I can't remember when harmony vocals became uncool, but I'll be honest, it's like we need it back. I just find simplified chords and simplified chord changes with single vocal over top. I just find that totally dull, and redundant. It just seems to be uneventful, we'll say. So I'm glad when bands like Rush, that have been around for 40-something years, you know, put out a great album that's where you rarely see a bad review on it. It's almost like a breath of fresh air. It's like, wow, you know, dinosaur rock comes back and still conquers. So I'm glad that's there, and a few other bands too. But the underground scene, that's where the music is for rock. You really have to search for it. Please don't listen to what's on the radio for rock. There's so much better music hiding in the underground scene, and you can find it on the internet easily. You can go to Prog Magazine online and you know, find some great music hidden there too.